My most dramatic one was a lady who had 20 children. And the most difficult question to ask was, when was your last menstrual period? Because she had no idea. The only blood she ever saw was when babies were coming. You see the baby's talking to you and telling you to kill them. You hear voices. I would take up to 8 paracetamols, which I tell people is shocking. I would not give up to 8 paracetamols to a young girl.
And then let me tell you, teenagers are so naughty. Because you could just be sitting, minding your business, reading a book. Someone just comes and grabs your chest.
Especially if you have underwire bras and at the back. So someone removes it at the end of it and just scratches and scratches. And sometimes you guys are scratching with your fancy nails until you tear yourselves. So by the time we see your back,
it's like, oh, this is
violence that is happening in your household, yet self-inflicted. Welcome to Filling the Gap podcast. What your mama and your doctor may not tell you or didn't tell you. There are many things. We're going to be delving today into all matters periods, including that place where your mother said, do not get pregnant, and never gave you the heads up on when to start. So for this chat, I have my very lovely friend, Debora. She's from Positive Circles, and she'll be telling us a little bit about what Positive Circles are, who they are, what you do, and how she's also dabbling as a coach. So what she's coaching, who she's coaching, where she's coaching, why she's coaching, all that stuff. Karibu sana, baby.
First of all, congratulations on your podcast.
Oh, thank
This is such a big deal.
I mean, following how we talked about it so randomly.
So now it's come to pass. So I'm really happy.
Yeah.
Yes, and thank you for inviting me as well.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's really a pleasure.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to the topic of conversation today. But before that, I just want to introduce myself again. My name is Debora Oma. I'm the co-founder of Positive Circles, which is an organization that champions women. It's a place for them to grow, it's a place for them to connect, it's a place for them to impact. So we do a lot of activities. So we have networking events, we have the learning events like the one you are the keynote, key headliner. where you came and talked to us about perimenopause and menopause. So we have similar events like that. And it's just a place where women can really impact in terms of giving back to the community, or if they have a passion project, they can do it within Positive Circles. So we target women, professional women in career and business. And so if you're a growth-oriented woman, you need to join us.
Yes. So you're what they call boss babes. You know me, I'm from another generation where we don't use this lingo. Would you call yourself a boss babe?
Well, I don't know about boss babe, but I really love women. So I would call myself a champion for women.
Okay.
And I found that I've done that through my career. Even as you mentioned, I'm a coach in training, and I really love working with women because I feel like the way we've been socialized for a long time, we really don't know and understand the potential and the power we have, not just to change our lives, but the community around us and the world. So I'm really a woman's champion, and it shines through in everything that I do. Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I think this is why we have aligned in some of the things, because I'm such a women empowerer and supporter and builder, cheerleader. So I think this is why our work has sort of interacted in that way.
Yeah.
So that's really nice.
Thank you.
So our conversation is about maybe touchy, maybe not touchy. We'll find out.
We'll see
how this goes.
Yeah.
Periods. What are periods?
Periods.
Because there are people who might not know what periods. They think it's the punctuation marks in sentences. But yes. Tell us.
Periods. Where can I start?
How would you define it? How would you define if someone asked you
what are periods?
What are periods?
So let me assume I'm talking to my son, and he's asked me what are periods. But then he has asked me what are periods. So
how old is he?
My son, I have two sons, a 7-year-old and 12-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking to a 7-year-old and a 12-year-old about what periods are.
So periods is once a woman gets into the age of puberty, which can sometimes start from 9. I've seen girls going to puberty from 9. So every month, so the monthly cycle is 28 days, thereabout. So it could be more or less. The uterus has a lining, which is, if you ask me as a lay person, it's made out of blood and cells. And every month, if the fertilization does not take place, conception doesn't take place, then the body doesn't need it, it sheds it. And it sheds it in the form of blood, and women get that as periods. So it's monthly periods. But as when you're small, we used to call it red robots and things like that. We used to call it red robots, yeah. So
I don't know where are the red robots.
I know. So that's how I understand it.
I can't remember what I used to call them.
Red robot.
Yeah. Red robot. I think it was anti-flow.
Anti-flow.
There
red
was
robots.
peas.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. And what would you say is puberty? Like if I was a 7-year-old and I go like, what is puberty?
Puberty, as I understand it, is when our body goes through changes, and you're going through changes to prepare you for adulthood, to prepare you for reproduction. So for girls, it could be widening of hips. You start your periods. Your breasts become larger. You can experience changes in your skin. For boys, also boys go through puberty, so they start getting way down.
Some of our crew here have had a lot of puberty. Maybe others more than others.
I did not want to mention, but yes. So it's when the chest widens, breaking the voice. The boys experience wet dreams.
Yeah.
And so that's what I understand by puberty. Is there something more you want to add?
No, I think that's the gist of it. There is something that switches in the brain, which is what many people don't know that bit, that the brain at some point will switch and start producing particular hormones, and that is what then causes the puberty to happen. And some people, that switch doesn't happen. So they don't go into puberty. I know, right? I can see your...
Many people.
This is what your mama and your doctor did not tell you.
Did not.
Yeah, so there are people who that switch doesn't happen, and therefore they don't go into puberty. So they don't get periods when we would expect periods to come. The boys don't break their voices, so they can have really high-pitched voice, and they maintain sort of soft features, so to speak. They don't grow beards, things like that. And then it can also happen really early.
Yeah.
So when it happens really early, so if you're looking at sometimes even 7-year-olds, 6-year-olds, we call it precocious puberty. So it's puberty, all the signs, but it's come really early. And those are important conversations to have even with children, because it can come as such a surprise for them. But I think I find it more surprising for the moms or the parents, because they were not prepped to find a 7-year-old having periods. Like, what do you do when your 7-year-old starts cramping and getting periods? So so you've got some of it, and I've added a little bit, I hope, to that.
I had never heard of that. Yeah, so this is something so important for us to learn.
Yes, and for parents to be aware that it can happen. Good. So we've gotten puberty out of the way. We've gotten the periods bit, at least a basic understanding. Where did you find out information about periods?
Yeah. So mostly I went to a private girls' school here in Nairobi. So there was so much information around that, which was really good. So every week we would have talks and conversations from around when you were 9 years old. So you're likely to start your periods. This is how a sanitary towel looks like. Those days they were so huge, my friends. They were huge. They were called Confidence.
Tell our Gen Z people where we started.
I know. There was Confidence.
That was wide, like a loaf of bread. The size was like a loaf of bread.
And then it didn't have the gummy there.
Yeah, it didn't have the gum.
So
there's nothing to stick it on.
Yeah. So we were
so miserable.
I know.
Think about it. So it meant we couldn't also play sports like when we were
it's like you're really excluded from a lot of activities. Yeah. So, but we had really good teachers, female teachers, who would take us through the process in terms of hygiene around periods, in terms of what they are. and also what to expect in terms of the cramps. Because when you're very new, I think my symptoms when I was starting my periods were very severe. Like you'd get bloated stomach, you'd get cramps, sometimes you'd get like some fatigue. So they really took us through that. But now at home, nobody was talking about it.
So it was left to the teachers.
It was usually left to the teachers. You would hear about it, and then a lot between your friends. So like some girls, they start early, so they start telling you, "Oh, I've started my period. This is how it is." And for us, it was a very exciting thing. It was really exciting. We were really
I'm
looking
really fascinated by
forward.
this. Your school, I think it should be declared an exemplar because
I think
my school.
What were you guys told?
Either I was not listening. It might have been a me problem. Rather than the school.
But what was the school telling you? What were you being told?
I was told periods will come and there will be blood, and that was all I knew. My experience was very shocking. It was very dramatic because I happened to be with my dad.
Oh my gosh. How did I go?
Who, for the audience, is another generation. But that's neither here nor there. And I didn't know what was happening, but it was cramps. It was very painful, and I was hot. Like I was feeling very hot and sweaty and feeling dizzy. And I was at textbook center trying to buy my books to go to Form 1. I could not concentrate. But my dad kept going like, what is the problem?
Like, yeah.
What is happening? But I had no words to explain what was happening. I did not know what was happening, to be fair, until I got home. Then I told my mom, there's something. I said, oh.
What did she tell you?
Oh, those are called periods. Oh, they might have mentioned that in school, but I had no recollection of everything else except that there would be blood. So the fact that there hadn't been blood, I was just living very easy. I had very hard experience with painkillers.
Sorry.
Anyway, that is probably why one of the reasons I became an obstetrician gynecologist. I think I was trying to fix all these things that were happening,
that you
that I was seeing and experiencing, and going like, but no one told me some of these things,
Yeah.
And at some point in high school, I would take up to 8 paracetamols, which I tell people is shocking. I would not give up to 8 paracetamols to a young girl.
Too much.
Yeah, it's a lot even for the liver.
Yes.
But anyway, we made it. We've survived.
We've
survived
it. Now we get a chance to tell
others and to tell the experience. So yeah, that's nice. I like your private school.
Yeah,
so
it was
posh.
really nice. It was worth the money.
So
But I will tell you, at home, no one was talking about it.
This is the thing I wanted to ask. Yeah. So at home first, sorry to interrupt, but
no problem.
Do you have sisters?
Yes, but
older, younger?
Very young, because by the time I was getting my periods, my sister was 1. Because I got my periods when I was 11.
Okay.
And my sister she's 10 years younger, so she's 1. So my mom, I was so scared to tell her. And like you who just went and told your mom, I was so scared to tell my mom, because we had gone out for lunch, for shopping. They went for lunch and I went to the bathroom and I thought, oh my gosh, my piece of crap. So you're very excited because other girls have started, but you haven't. So instead of telling her, I just rolled a tissue, just stuffed it, and then just went and pretended like everything is normal. And then we went home. I continued pretending everything is normal. Then I went to bed, and then I woke up. Everything was
not normal.
Yeah. So I ended up telling her, and then she explained to me. She gave me pads and explained to me, okay, now you're a big girl. And now you need to avoid boys because now your periods are started. Now you could be a mom. That was the big talk. And okay, then this is how you use the pads. Yeah. So I just felt like I was, if that was all the information I was relying on, I would not have been well equipped. Yeah.
It's interesting you talk about that because there's quite a high rate of teenage pregnancies in Kenya.
Yeah.
Globally, but in Kenya as well. And there's certain sort of places where girls have not heard about this information, and this, I don't want to say scare that you will get pregnant and you'll get a baby. That conversation is not had.
Yeah.
So there are girls who never get a period. I worked in Isiolo, and it used to surprise me how by the time the first period would have come, she's released the egg, but she's already been active, and therefore she never saw a period.
Yeah. Wow.
And some I had, my most dramatic one was a lady who had 20 children, And the most difficult question
Yes.
to ask was, when was your last menstrual period? Because she had no
She
idea.
had no idea.
The
'cause
only
was
blood she ever
getting-
saw was when babies were coming.
Yeah.
But she would never have had a period, which was very
Wow.
fascinating, I found.
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's talk a little bit about the changes that happen aside from what the period is, which is the
Yeah.
blood, which is, for some reason, we are still feeling a bit shy to talk about. I hope now it's a bit better.
Yeah, sure.
But let's talk about something like breast pain.
Yes.
That's touched you a bit, like...
Yeah, it has really touched me.
It's touched you somewhere.
Like a memory has popped up.
Tell me about breast pain.
Oh my gosh, breast pain when you are
as a teen.
Oh my gosh. And then let me tell you, teenagers are so naughty because you could just be sitting, minding your business, reading a book. Someone just comes and grabs your chest.
I don't know what that perception is.
Did that happen in your school?
Yes, and I remember, in fact, even now, as we speak about it, I'm just
because you're always like so overprotective of yourself because you don't know who will come and start grabbing you. I remember that pain was very intense.
Was this boys or girls?
It was a girls' school, remember? It's supposed to be a private, like, hoity-toity school, but we still used to do those crazy things.
You guys need to be
I know. So it just comes and grabs you. So, yeah, I remember that. That's the memory I have of my breast growing.
Yeah,
and boob tops.
Yes. Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, her memory also just came.
Yeah.
For me, it was having to switch up the sports that I used to play.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing like a football. You know how guys say football in your balls? I got a football there. And I was like, and that was the end of my football career. It was starting. I had a bright future, but I cannot. No, imagine. I would have been just excellent because any other sport, but that one, that is exactly where I avoided.
Yeah.
But the breast tissue usually is developing also because of hormones, and there are different types of breast tissue. And that development also happens and changes in pregnancy, which is also sometimes why people get painful breasts during pregnancy. It's also why you get some certain pains during the cycle, because some people get pain every month at a certain time. You don't tend to get it when you're in menopause and perimenopause because the hormones have changed. So... That's
a good piece of information. How come now, when I have a memory, you have like some backup information? I love this.
What your doctor and your mama did not tell you.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So tell me, do you have children?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned.
Yeah,
two boys. 7 and 12.
Yes, thank you.
This must be my perimenopausal brain trying to overcome us, but we are going to get there. So tell me, what pregnancy changes have you seen around people or in yourself, if you're comfortable to talk about it, that surprised you the most? Because the most obvious is a bump.
Yeah.
Did that surprise you?
I just was surprised. Okay, the bump didn't surprise me. I just got surprised at the rate that my bump grew. Because someone just looked at me at 5 weeks and 6 weeks. I'm like, you're pregnant, congratulations. I'm like, how did you know? It's still early. But the most surprising thing for me is that my feet grew a size bigger. Nobody told me about that.
Sorry. Our apologies as a medical fraternity for not telling you that might happen.
Yes, my foot grew a size bigger. I had my wedding, but you see, when I have my wedding marks, my fingers grew like, I don't know how many millimeters bigger. That was the biggest surprise. Because when you're reading, you're like, yes, you will change. And it's just these normal things. But that was the biggest surprise. My foot growing a size bigger. In fact, I was very scared to get my second born because I was like, now how big will my foot? My foot is already big. It got bigger. I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, and then I was also not ready for the change, like around 37 weeks, where your color just changes. You become like 10 shades darker.
I'm not laughing.
It's okay, can laugh. It's
because I can see it. I can see that.
Yes.
It's called the mask of pregnancy. It has a name, melasma. the darkening of the skin.
Yeah.
And it can become very
It's really
dramatic.
scary.
Yeah, very dramatic. You wake
Especially
up and
when I
it's
look
like,
at my photos,
yeah, you
because
go
me, I
like-
was like, it's not so bad. When I look at my photos, like, it was so
Like,
bad. It was so bad. And then the widening of the nose, it's like your nostrils are like always ready for action. I was like,
And you know, there's an actual reason for that. They
Wow.
are widened.
you
for
need to
action.
breathe more. What?
Yes.
Oh.
You need to oxygenate to supply baby with oxygen. So that's why the nostrils flare.
Yeah.
But then remember also your lungs have been squished.
Oh, yeah.
So capacity-wise, lungs are smaller. You need to breathe in more air to get more oxygen to the baby. There's a reason for everything.
Wow. Can I continue with the changes?
I think you should, because there is a
Because
lot
this
of
is nice.
Yes.
And then somehow, okay, it did happen to me a lot, luckily. But I'll tell you about it, but I was in a group of friends who were going through pregnancy together. And you sleep on one side, and then you want to go to the loo a lot. Luckily for me, I would always just wake up at 5 a.m. But for them, they would be awake, just going to the loo back, going to the loo back. That's something you don't really anticipate. Yeah.
And you can imagine with a bump and having to maneuver that whole thing to get to the loo. Also, you just have 2 drops of urine when you get there. When you finally get to the loo, it's like dribbling, and then you go back to bed and go like, okay. And then you're like, and it really disturbs the sleep. So there are various reasons why. First, the bladder is pushed by the uterus. So the bladder, in the same way the lungs are pushed, the bladder is also compressed. It becomes smaller. So you need to pee more frequently. But then you also get urinary tract infections more commonly in pregnancy. So that makes it very irritable and very annoying. We
How
always
can you
have to
prevent
treat.
that in pregnancy?
Taking lots of water. Taking lots of water usually is the biggest solution, because then you keep flushing the bladder. Pregnancy in itself is what we call diabetogenic state. Diabetogenic meaning you're more predisposed to become diabetic. Pregnancy in itself is a diabetic state. So then your urine becomes more sweet or sugary. Then it gets in touch with any bacteria close to where the pee comes from, and then you get infections. So it becomes more common because of that. There's a reason for everything. I'm telling you.
Perfect.
So they need to drink. Every time I tell women, drink a lot. It's even more difficult, I find, like in hot places, for people to remember to drink, even though they are hotter, they are sweating more. People tend to forget to drink, or they don't like the taste of water. Pregnancy can change the taste.
Because of the tasty.
Yes. So if you're pregnant and you're really struggling, and this is for the audience, with water, put in some lemon, some orange, fresh. Not that juicy stuff of sugar that I see in the supermarket. Nah. Is Street Talk back?
No, it was back briefly, then disappeared.
But it wasn't the same the way it was in those days. Anyway, so Fanta is not the solution also, because Fanta is very sweet. It dehydrates you and it makes the problems worse.
Okay.
So lots of water, but just make the water taste a little bit better. Some people, it's just ginger. It helps with the taste, so you take more water. But the feet swelling is from the hormone progesterone. Progesterone is the main hormone of pregnancy. And progesterone makes everything relaxed. It relaxes the blood vessels. It relaxes a lot of things. It relaxes your joints. So that's why some people also get pain when they're walking and waddling. You see all the women at 34 weeks, they have a new walking style.
Yes.
People think it's actually they're being gisty, that duck walk, that waddling. It's because the joints also become soft because of progesterone. But it also causes the feet to swell up. And then because you're sat in position like that and the uterus is big, it's blocking the blood vessels now from coming back up. So that is what makes the feet swell. However, for us as gynecologists, obstetricians, our main worry is swelling that would be a clot in the leg.
I hear you.
So anytime you go to the hospital and we are checking you, find us pressing on your ankles, we're trying to differentiate whether that is swelling from the fluid, from progesterone, or you have clots at the back of your legs. Because if it is a clot, I send you to hospital very fast.
Very good.
If it is fluid, I tell you just elevate. When you're sleeping in the evening, put your feet up on a pillow. It helps to bring back the blood. But that's where the swelling comes from fluid retention. And sometimes it's also what makes the nose look bigger. So you're retaining fluid generally everywhere, including on the skin.
I hear you.
Yeah. But the darkening is also progesterone.
Okay.
Yeah.
The mask
And that line, there's a line, it's called linea alba, also very dark line.
Yeah.
And for some women never goes away.
Yeah.
Even the darkening, I know. It's so dramatic. The problem is we don't know to whom this will happen. So you just sometimes are praying very hard. Yeah. Okay. But for a lot of women, it will disappear after the pregnancy and the hormones come out. Yeah.
And there's also this thing people talk about, like if you're getting a baby girl, your skin will be smooth. Yeah. If you're getting a baby boy, you'll be very bumpy. Is that true?
Depends. I've seen some very rough girls.
Okay.
That is all I can summarize.
It's a rumor.
Yeah, I usually go like, So some people are planning with beautiful skins.
Yes.
Thinking, the girl. And then the baby comes and they're what?
I know.
So unprepared.
Yeah. Okay.
Did you find out the sex of your babies?
Yeah. I did. That's 20 weeks. It was such a crazy experience because it was not what I expected. But it was interesting because it just helps you bond better with the baby. You start preparing better for names and obviously the shopping. So I found it like very good for me to know. Okay. Yeah, and I'm also a control freak. Yeah.
I was going to circle back to that small matter, but yes. So it's fine to know because if it helps you and helps you to plan throughout, the pregnancy, then that's absolutely fine. Some people like to be surprised. No. They're just like, yeah, surprise.
I don't like surprises. Even my friends know I don't like surprises.
So this is a you thing.
It's a me thing.
It's fine. It's fine. That's nice. I find some people, really do well when they know. Yeah. Some people do well with the surprise, and some people get too shocked by the surprise.
I can imagine.
Yes, they're like, I really thought this would be a girl, or I felt like this would be a boy. So whatever tickles your fancy, dear audience, please. Whatever. Yeah. Yes. So we've talked about what was most surprising. Let's talk about now having the experience of having periods and then getting a baby. What do you know about periods ending? Do they end?
Yeah.
Do they end? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Where did you find that information out?
Yeah, from my auntie. When I was in my early 20s, I lived with my aunt. And then she used to get hot flashes. And then she would get a hot flash. And then she would tell us she's 39 for the longest time. And then now hot flashes, when I think about it later. She never got to 40 for a long time. But then now she just used to tell us, I'm about to get to menopause. When you get to menopause, your periods don't come. I will get but that was all I knew about menopause. And, periods ending. So I know there's an event that comes in a woman's life where her periods will no longer come. When she's no longer able to make babies. Yeah, the hormones decline. Yeah.
It doesn't sound like there was an actual conversation about it. This was her saying things in the ethos that you picked up on.
Yeah, you just pick up on them. You interact with all the aunties, all the women, but they never really talk about it. They complain about symptoms, but it's not coherent. It's not deliberate that they're speaking to you about it. It's maybe complaints or a passing story. Yeah, but I really got to now be very interested about menopause, perimenopause, periods ending. When now I started getting older, in my late 30s, not even late 30s, 40s. Oprah was talking about it, then Halle Berry was talking about it, then locally Kabuga was talking about it. And I've got a small WhatsApp group with some friends, and we range from the age of maybe 37 to 52. The oldest member is 52. So one of the oldest members, she kept complaining about all these wild symptoms. And I'm like, how wild is this? Like, it can't be that bad. And then one day she just pulled out like a flyer, this flyer, WhatsApp flyers. And then she started saying, guys, this menopause is not for the faint-hearted. This is what I'm going through. I mean, perimenopause is what I'm going through. And there were like almost like 30 symptoms. And in my head, I'm like, I only know about hot flashes. And then once you get the hot flashes, your periods end. And then now you continue with your life. I didn't think there's so many.
How is that going?
It's not. That's why how we met. You remember how when we used to have our conversation, how crazy it was. So it went from that. Then it went to people in the community.
Yeah.
As I've mentioned, Positive Circles. It's a community for women in their 30s and 40s. So that conversation started getting louder and louder. And women, I noticed like a lot of women didn't have information around perimenopause and menopause. And there was really a big push for us to have an event. And for me, even as we were planning the event, when I searched you on Instagram, and then we found that we are aligning on this, you had such good information on perimenopause and menopause, fertility, woman, and being a woman. I didn't even think it relates to me. I was just thinking, okay, others. I'm going to help others.
Helping those ones with those problems, those 52, those ones.
And then for us, we want to prepare so that when the symptoms come, we'll be well equipped. Yeah, so that was the genesis of just me hearing. It was a global conversation, then it became a local conversation. Then I met you as an educator and a doctor, and I'm like, okay, this is something that we can really talk about. And then there's also the women who are telling us, okay, let's talk about this. Let's learn more about this. So that's the genesis of how I came to start learning about perimenopause. Actually, I didn't even know about perimenopause. I started learning about menopause. You're the one who bombarded me with the perimenopause.
And walked backwards and like, sorry, what is that? Why are you calling it a different name? It's not the one we know.
Yeah.
And perimenopause is chaotic. Not for everyone. It is chaotic.
Yeah.
But people don't know about it.
Yeah.
So the chaos is worse because you're not understanding yourself. I remember being an intern, and I used to have women who come to the clinic, and then, the first question normally we ask is why you're here. I like to ask, how can I help you? I feel like it's nicer, it's softer.
Yeah.
And women will be like, I'm going to say this in Swahili, our audience, we're going to translate, is sijui nasikia aje. Which in English, direct translation would be, I don't know what I'm feeling, or I don't know how I'm feeling, but I don't feel like myself. And I remember thinking, that med school, I'm searching. 5 years of medical school, I'm searching, and I'm like,
did I miss a unit?
Did I sleep in that class? I don't know what I'm feeling. What is that?
Yeah.
And it was very mind-boggling for me as a doctor to be asked. So I had to ask them, okay, what are you feeling?
Yeah.
And the next thing they'd say is they feel like they have malaria. They just say, I feel so hot, and they may or may not have joint pains.
Yeah.
So a lot of women, especially outside of, even within Nairobi, the number of malaria tests that have been done for women, because they're feeling like it's malaria, they're hot, and they have joint pains.
Yeah, those are classic malaria symptoms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And those are the ones who even come to hospital. Yeah. A lot of women are getting over-the-counter antimalarials, which is what has landed us in a lot of trouble with what we call antimalarials. We have antimicrobial, which is bacteria, but resistance. So a lot of the malaria in the country at the moment is actually very difficult to treat. Because the medicines that we would use, people will get them over the counter because they have joint pains and hot flashes.
So they become resistant.
So when you actually get malaria, it is very difficult to treat. So in fact, for the audience, please avoid malaria, whatever you do. Wear that, I use that ballet cream.
Yeah,
it's so nice. It has vitamin E. I'm not marketing. I don't even know who makes that.
I'll plug you to a better one.
Oh, will it make my skin...
essential oils and everything.
Essential oils, Tena?
You will, okay. Plug ballet. Maybe you will.
No, I don't even know where that ballet is made. It may be Kenyan. I don't know where it comes from. I used it once.
It's nice though.
And I didn't realize it had vitamin C and E or something like that.
They made it so nice
nowadays. But the smell doesn't come. There's another one I was like, this is doom.
This is doom all over me.
You can't even be romantic with anybody because you smell like...
Why do you want to be romantic in a malaria? Why do you want to be romantic in a malaria prone? zone.
See, now it is like romance. Like when you are in the coast, it's romantic.
I
But you cannot be romantic when you are
know.
like with the doom. Anyway, I digress. So that is how the women have taken a lot of anti-malarials. 85% of women will have hot flashes. So it is the most common symptom, but it's not always the most severe or the most problematic. And I have a list now. I think I'm nearly up to 63
symptoms.
Different symptoms that women have told me over time that I have listened to and gone like, this is hormone related. And there are different hormones that we check, but this is one of the conversations to understand that there can be different ways, and it's not just the period ending. The symptoms will start before the period ends. So
before you continue,
tell me.
My latest symptom. Itchiness all over. Is that one a real one or it's in my head?
No, it's not in your head.
Itchiness.
There are people who get it everywhere.
Over. And I felt like I could scream. I was going in for swimming. So definitely it was not the chlorine because it started before. And I was just like, I had to start slapping myself. I didn't even swim. And I had to go and get an antihistamine.
Did it help?
Yeah, it did. I took one for 3 days.
Okay, all right.
But when I read about it, I'm like, itchiness either in the ears or on the body.
Yeah, and in the vulva, the vagina.
Don't even start there.
Itching that is ridiculous. Not the most common, but one of the most interesting things I've seen in the last year is women just not wearing their old underwear, whatever they used to use. Same, they bought the same underwear from the same shops.
Or they become allergic to it.
But there's no skin changes.
No.
It's very itchy, but there's no skin change, and it resolves with antihistamines for whatever reason. But there's something called mast cells. Mast cells are some of the cells that help with allergy, and they produce this histamine, which is also another hormone that I haven't talked about a lot on my pages. I should. But when they get destabilized, then they cause a lot of itching. And we've seen an increase, for whatever reason, in older women of these mast cells getting unstable. So but yes, this
that
one
was
is
it,
and
that
this
is a symptom. This one, no, this one I've not. Okay, I know it's an African. I thought it was an African.
It's not an African. Don't place on us those things, please. We don't want to take all the problems of the world. We have enough problems. We have drought.
It's a perimenopausal thing.
That one is perimenopausal. It also happens in the other countries. I have
across the
globe or the ocean. So worry not. But yes, it is, and it can be quite dramatic. So you're not seeing anything. Dermatologists are taking up quite a bit of these conversations as well, because you don't see anything. There are no pimples. There's nothing. It's just itching.
It's itchy because I was thinking I'll see bumps or something like hives look, but my skin is just okay. But I was itching all over.
For some people, quite dramatic under the bra, especially if you have underwire bras and at the back. So someone removes it at the end of the day and just scratches. And sometimes you guys are scratching with your fancy nails until you tear yourselves. So by the time we see your back, it's
like, this is
violence that is happening in your household, yet self-inflicted. But yes, that's one of the symptoms.
So 63.
Okay. I keep a record. I get fascinated.
You need to share this.
The 63. I find it fascinating because then I go like, am I also now labeling
every single thing?
But I do investigate my patients so much just to make sure it's not, like thyroid disease would give you some of those things, like hot flashes. Thyroid disease can be the cause of the hot flash, not the menopause in itself. So sorting out the thyroid can make the hot flashes then start to disappear.
I hear you.
So you're enjoying the ride?
I have you. I have information now. So now I'm
chat.
always like, is this a me thing or is it a perimenopausal thing? So when I read about it, I'm like, Debora, relax. Debora, relax. And at least there's also help, you know.
At least now there's help.
If you're aware of it, then you seek help.
And I think this is what our moms didn't have a lot of. I'll have my mom on the podcast and she'll talk about her experience. It was so dramatic. She didn't know she was in menopause. Meanwhile, I knew she was.
Oh, yes, because you can see.
I was seeing it. It was so obvious to me. I was like, well, how don't you know that?
I know.
It's
It's
obvious.
happening to you.
And then she was like, but no one told me. I've been visiting doctors all this time. And, and I was like, wow, we should do better.
I know.
So, yeah, maybe that's why I enjoy teaching, so that at least people know these things exist. Yeah. So, the previous guest left 2 quotes for me to share with you as a guest without them knowing who the guest was going to be. And we're going to do the same for you. So you leave a quote or a word of advice or something that you've learned. It doesn't have to be, sort of health or women's health related. So what I'm going to do is share what the previous guest said, and then we'll have a chat about that before you tell me what I'm going to tell the next guest. Does that make sense? It's too much pieces moving. So we'll do the first part.
Yeah.
So previous guest said preparing for breastfeeding should be done when you're still pregnant rather than getting surprised by it when the baby comes. What do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow, because from my experience, it was very good when I was expectant. I told you we were a group of moms. We still meet, 2013 moms. They were even in the event we hosted in Beyond. 2013 moms, we're still tight 12 years later.
That's so sweet.
And it's so good because we follow milestones. Last year, our kids were doing Kepsea. So we were all over like,
what are we using? What are we reading?
Past papers, things like that.
That's really nice to have like that
support.
Yeah, support group.
Yeah, and we were over... we must have been almost 100 moms.
Oh, wow.
At that point.
That's a big,
we were on Facebook and we would talk. And then obviously some moms were going in ahead because I'm at 2013 November, so they were July, Jan. And so they start telling you about breastfeeding. They start telling you about cracked nipples. They tell you about maybe not being able to latch. Inverted nipples, and all this you can have interventions even before, because even before I got the baby, you get some cream, the breastfeeding cream. You start massaging. If your nipples are inverted, you'll probably start noticing, and then you'll intervene. You buy your breastfeeding pillow, which is a good support for it. So it's very important going in, even by the time you're going into labor, you should have your breast pump, You should
so
know
you
how
had
to
this
clean.
information
Yes,
before.
I had all this information. I had my breast pump. I knew that in case the milk doesn't start, what we can do. There were the lactation supplements, like fenugreek, although it was giving me such bad gas. Fenugreek. You like fenugreek?
So I do for my patients, fenugreek, but then with peppermint.
Oh, yeah.
Because the peppermint, it kills the gas.
Oh, my gosh. Nobody told me about peppermint. What your doctor didn't tell you? So the fenugreek really kicked in the milk for me.
Yeah, it does the milk.
But the gas was impossible. Then you have the oats. And then, I also have older friends. So it was really... pregnancy is really a community project, My husband is there with the breast pump ready. You have the breast pads in case you leak. So I believe it's a journey that you need. It's something you need to understand before you start, and then it makes it easier once it kicks in.
And was this for your first? Did you have this information from your first?
Yeah, from my first baby.
Audience, you must engage with the Debora Positive Circles.
Yes, please come
because this is not everyone's experience. Some people are really struggling out here. Those 1 to 5% of women will not be able to breastfeed for one reason or the other.
Yeah.
And many people assume that it's the norm, that baby will come and I will just be able to put baby on the breast. So that's very important. I think that support system, there are women in the world who don't know about being prepared for this, and they are really, really struggling. So that's a good view to see from a different perspective, from someone who had amount of support. Yeah, so that's good.
That's
Well done.
That's
I think you're just posh. I think you're...
Well, and then
it's going
also
to posh school. Yeah, it's a posh school that has brought this.
Yes.
Should we just tell people everywhere? People should go to just posh schools. I'll try not mention. where I went.
But also
Because
another
it's,
thing is baby center was also, I don't know if it's big now, but it was big then. It's still big now because they still keep sending me emails about my kids. Baby center is also a good resource, and other resources, even locally, there are some resources, maybe apps that you can plug in, and then they tell you what to expect and how to prepare for baby.
So you're reiterating the key thing is be prepared before the baby comes, which I think is what lots of women haven't been prepared. They're really focusing on the pregnancy. They don't prepare for baby's arrival. Then the other thing the guest mentioned was support from men, and that men should also learn in advance so that they know how to support their wives. How I can see you smiling.
I'm really smiling.
Tell us about your man and whether he learned on the job or he was also, you've mentioned him with the breast pumps. Looks like he was just ready anytime.
Anytime,
His milk
anything
can come
happen.
anytime. Tell me about that.
Wow. It's so important to have a supportive partner. And I think one thing women don't do well is asking for help. Because we've been socialized to be superwoman and I'll show everything, everyone.
Even the Bible says you can do all things through Christ
who strengthens. But it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to start asking for help early. For us, what helped us is that we went for Lamas together. Oh my gosh, it was such a big culture shock. You know, me, I never had taken care of babies before. So even tying diapers, I didn't know. I didn't know a lot, and then I had like a lot of misconceptions around labor, like, you know, your water breaks and then you rush,
the baby comes.
Then the baby comes.
You're watching too many movies.
I know.
This is the problem of these movies.
My water is broken.
Let's go down. Then you come and find Dr. Muchiri who tells you,
yeah, go back. Or you're
so
1
far,
centimeter.
So far, 1 centimeter, so far. Relax.
So going for Lamas really helps because now you're being taught not only about the laboring process, but you're being taught basic skills around baby bathing, changing diapers and things like that. So it became like a group effort. So by the time baby came, he was like very well aware. And because I had a C-section, I was not able to do as much. So he really swooped in and was really there and available for us. And then I was diagnosed with postpartum depression.
Oh, no. Tell me about that.
Oh, it was crazy.
First
of all, okay, I told you I'm a control freak, right? So I told you I've prepared for everything around baby and I know everything. Then my baby came and then I'm seeing this baby looks like a Chinese. You just know the newborns have like crazy features. I couldn't reconcile.
I'm told my Chinese features have persisted, but
even you were born a Chinese baby.
I was told that.
Like my son.
Yeah, I was just told, They have like nice, cute little eyes.
But luckily the Chinese construction workers were not here, so there was no suspicion. But for me, I couldn't reconcile that was my son, and it was so hard for me to accept. And it was, I don't know, the doctor called it something. It's like I'm not able to accept my child. And then so I was kind of very detached.
This is baby number 1 or
2? Or even 2 I suffered. So for both pregnancies I went through that. So you're having trouble bonding with the child and you're having trouble you're detaching. So again, partner is very important in such, because he was able to also just come in very strongly if I'm not able to do something, because remember, if you're detached, you're really not on top of everything as you should. So I just urge women, just like involve the men pretty early in whatever way you can. Sometimes it's not like they don't know what to do. It's just that you've not involved them. So they want to help, but they don't know how to help. So involving men early is good. If you have other people within the household who you can involve, older kids or, your nanny, involve them and educate them as early as possible so that once you get the child, you have a good support system within the house.
I'm going to talk about postpartum mental health things just because it's come up in the conversation. But did you know, going into the second pregnancy, that you had a likelihood of going back into postpartum?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I did know because it was likely to happen, and it has happened to other women in my family.
Okay.
So my auntie was really keen and saying that because it happened the first time, that we need to be prepared for it happening the second time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. So that's a nice, like what your doctor did and your mama, at least your auntie.
I know.
Told you, because some people don't know that it will happen.
Yeah.
And it can happen.
I didn't think it would happen the second time.
Yeah.
Why does it happen the second
It
time?
recurs. It recurs. Yeah. So whatever has triggered it can recur the second, the third.
Yeah.
So it's important for women who've experienced that to be aware that it can happen, and that's why we want you to be prepared in advance. For first-time moms, it can be difficult because you're not prepared. You don't know if you're going to experience that. And then it can run in families as well. So if there's a family history, it's important for also other people to be aware about it. But coming into the conversation for postpartum mental health, you mentioned that you had postpartum depression.
Yes.
How do you know how the diagnosis of the depression bit was made?
Well, I have no idea. But the psychiatrist came and told me. Yeah.
And by the time you were seeing the psychiatrist, at what point were you postpartum? How many
I had not even been discharged from hospital.
So this is where my doctor and your mama...
I don't think this.
So there are 3 different types of postpartum mental health issues that happen. And the diagnosis of depression is not made that short. But it's the easiest to say because then it will click in people's heads. What you get initially in the first sort of 2 weeks or 1 month is postpartum blues. You feel very sad. You're not connecting with the baby. You're struggling to breastfeed. You feel low.
Yeah.
You wake up and you see your baby and you're not inspired, or you know how other
I thought it would
people,
be such a magical feeling.
People,
that is the thing I
they
miss.
go like, oh my boo 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 jumbo jumbo jumbo. But
I thought it would be so magical.
So that is usually the blues bit.
Yeah.
And you can't pinpoint what the issue is. And people around you find it very odd. If they've not mentally prepped that this can happen, they go like, why are you being like that? This is your baby. Put your baby to the breast. Why are you not bonding with the baby? Why have you left the baby? It's so dramatic.
In fact, the pediatrician was threatening me. She was threatening me. She was like, it seems you don't want this baby. And if you don't want this baby, we are going to take the baby away. And I said,
that doesn't
gladly take the baby
Yeah.
away because I am feeling so stressed. I'm feeling so overwhelmed. And nobody seems to understand what I'm going through.
Yeah, so blues are like that.
Yeah.
Then there's now the depression is usually 3 to 6 months. So you've been like this continuously and it's not going away, but you don't harm the baby. You just don't like the baby. You're not a fan of the baby. They don't look pretty to you.
Oh my gosh, my
but
son
you don't
is gonna watch
know.
this. But I bonded with the baby after 21 days.
Yeah, so that's why I asked the question about the diagnosis of it being postpartum depression. Because a lot of women don't get to be depressed. They're blues, but not depressed.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's postpartum psychosis. Psychosis mad. Yeah. So there's one, this before one is sadness. This is mad. You see the baby's talking to you and telling you to kill them. You hear voices. This is where women can take their babies and throw them out. They have no recollection. They have no idea that this is happening to them. And if that happens, and unfortunately we lose that baby, when the mom comes to has been treated, it's so devastating because especially if you've prepared for the baby, you are waiting for the baby to find that you killed your own baby. That is very dramatic. So that's called postpartum psychosis. And that requires lots of medication. And you can come out of it. A lot of women come out of it. But just coming around to the support systems around women who are delivering and getting pregnant, it is a community. Like you said, I like how you said it's a community
project.
Venture.
Yes.
It is everyone, even the watchman should be involved. Everyone around pregnant moms should be looking out, because a lot of times it would be the husbands or the partners or the moms who would pick up. They're like, that's not how Debbie.
Yeah.
That's not how she would have responded in this situation. Like, we've been preparing for this baby. It's unlikely that she's just woken up and gone next. Don't like that, you know.
Yes.
So I wanted to just bring that into the conversation because a lot of people might not know
I didn't know.
those 3 parts.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that because I just snapped out of it. I think when my baby was 21 days, and I just started feeling that kind of nice, magical, fuzzy feeling. I'm like, this is it. This is it. Because the only time I used to bond with my son is when I look at his tag and see
the name.
Son of, child of Debora. Child of Debora. And then I'm like, oh, this is my son. So I always used to look for that tag. But after 21 days, it became such a beautiful relationship. Yeah.
And sometimes it's also triggered by the events around because you've not slept.
Yeah.
The breasts are doing, I don't know what. You have a C-section scar if it's a C-section. If it's a vaginal delivery, we've, done a lot of things down there. So your mind, it's almost like you have an out-of-body experience to these whole things that are happening around you. And then also just being a mom and going like, I really should be feeling some type of way that I'm not feeling, and you really kick yourself.
You think that you're the problem, that you're deficient, that you're not good enough. Yeah.
But you are. You've done very, very well.
Thank
so
you.
Is there a plan? And this is like everyone's pet peeve question for, are you getting another baby? Because
let me look at that camera. Let me look at that camera and
look at that camera and say it with your chest.
Well, I'm not planning on, but if God wills, for the next president to be born, who's going to save Kenya, then it will happen.
It will be
yes,
fantastic. If it happens, surprise or not, I'm always ready.
Yes,
we are ready all the time.
You will come and deliver the baby.
I might not because
please, you're supposed to lie to me now. Just say I will be there for you, but anyway, I might hold you again. I might hold it against you. So just be truthful.
I can pray for babies to come, but that's where now these days I end because old age, retirement, and whatnot. But
yes.
So, what is the one thing that you would tell the next guest? You don't know who they are, men, women. One thing, either quote, piece of advice, doesn't have to be medical. It might have been something you read today. So on a matatu somewhere, it might inspire us. But for the next guest, and I will tell them when they come.
Yeah, please. So what I will tell the next guest is that ignorance is
bliss.
Not bliss. Ignorance is not bliss.
Ignorance is not bliss.
Especially in this world of information.
Yeah.
So what I would tell them is just to invest in a lot of information that will help your life. Like just different areas of your life, be it health, be it your finances. Invest in information. Invest in yourself with lots of information because no one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself.
Okay.
Dr. Muchiri is not always here for you to tell you.
That's true.
About hormones. Yeah, so that's what I would tell. Ignorance is not bliss, and invest in the right information.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And to round that up, we hope we have filled some gaps in what your doctors and your mothers may not have told you on all matters, periods, and babies. And until next time, thank you very much, Debbie.